I'll be addressing regarding cereals in this module. So cereals, they are the grains of life. They are the necessity of our life. We cannot even think of life without cereals, whether it is wheat, whether it is rice, because we can find these two very important grains in our kitchens. And we cannot think of our meals without wheat and without rice. So cereals, from where they have come actually? Cereals, they have come from plant. They contain all the possible life of plants. They are the grains of life, and from where they have come? They have come from life. You know, Jeev say Jeev, we are living, and the grains, they are also living. So we as living, we are consuming cereals. कहाँ से आया? जीव से आया, और जीव के लिए life और life. So this is the beauty and charm of cereals, that it contains all the possible life of plant. And a plate of cereals, it if we add it with other components, like whether it is vegetables or legumes, and so it is the best way to keep concentrated on all the intellectual activities that we must do while studying, while working. And in this corona pandemic, when we are every time stuck on our PCs, we are all too busy in our lives, working on PCs, attending the classes, studying. So we need a kind of energy, and how we are going to get this energy, who is going to fulfill our requirements of our body to keep us healthy and active. So we are going to get all this energy from cereals, my dear friends. And cereals, they come in so many forms. We used to consume cereals in so many forms, like whether it is puffed, parched, flaked, and we used to cook cereals in different ways. We can do so many innovations with cereals. So this is all the beauty and innovations we are going to do, and we are going to study in cereal technology. So let's start with the ABC of cereals. Starting with the ABC of cereals. I'll be giving you a brief introduction about cereals. In this module, we are going to discuss what are cereals, this is actually what we are going to learn today. How we can define cereal, how we can identify the types of cereals, and the importance of cereals, and how we can store the cereals. So cereals, I must say, these are the grains of life, these are the necessity of our meals. And from where the cereals or cereal grains, they have come? They are actually the seeds of cultivated grasses. So cereals are the seeds of cultivated plants of grass family. Cereal grains, they belong to monocotyledonous family, Gramineae or grass family. I'm repeating, monocotyledonous family, Gramineae or grass family. And the principal cereal crops are rice, wheat, maize, sorghum, jowar, millets, barley, oats, and rye. And in all of these cereals, rice and wheat, they are the chief cereals of the human diet. And cereals, they are very much rich in carbohydrates, and cereals, they supply the bulk of the food consumed by the human race. So they are the staple foods for the people. And if I dive back into the history, the first cereal grains were domesticated about 12,000 years ago by ancient farming communities in the Fertile Crescent region. There were various varieties of wheat at that time, like emmer wheat, iron corn, and barley was there. And these three are known as the Neolithic founder crops in the development of agriculture. if I talk about these agricultural grasses, they are known as the edible seeds. And the three cereals, rice, wheat, and maize, they provide almost more than half of the calories being eaten by us. And of all the crops being grown, 70% are all grasses. And cereals, they constitute the major sources of carbohydrates for human beings, and perhaps they are the major source of proteins, and including rice in southern and eastern Asia, maize in Central and South America, and wheat and barley in Europe, northern Asia, and America. These grasses are perhaps the most economically important plant family. These are important in several areas of food production, food industries, as well as the lawns. So if I talk about the main cereals, the major cereals, so we all are known to, we all are acquainted with wheats, rice, oats, maize, rye and barley. These are the main cereals which we include in our day-to-day life. So if I talk about wheat, immediately what comes in your mind? You know, wheat, grains, refined wheat flour, whole wheat flour, breads, so many products, pasta, cakes, rusks, burgers, buns, they all are the wheat products actually. And we cannot even think of a life without this grain. Oats, these are the happening grains in today's market as they contain the soluble fiber. So it is very uh, easily digestible cereal, and it helps to increase the transit time, and so help relieves constipation, as well as it is known to reduce weight as well. So rice, this is also in Green Revolution, both rice and wheat, they captured the whole scenario, they captured the whole market, and India, it has reached to the level of sufficiency in the production of rice, and in so many products you can prepare from rice, rice flakes, rice itself, cooked rice, raw rice, brown rice, so many products that come immediately into your mind when we talk about the rice. Then maize, it is also a very important cereal, and the products being prepared from maize are corns, cornflakes, corn flours, which we add in so many other products for increasing the consistency, for as a thickening agent. So it is native to America. Corn was actually originated in Mexico, and it is evolving from the wild grass teosinte, and archaeological evidences, they also suggest that corn was domesticated and grown as early as 5000 BC in Mexico. So coming to barley, it is also amongst the most ancient crops of cereals, and the original area of cultivation has been reported to be in fertile crescent of the Middle East, in present day Lebanon, Iran, Iraq and Turkey. Barley was under cultivation in India and China considerably later than in the Middle East, and barley, it played an important role in ancient Greek culture as a staple bread making grain, as well as important food for athletes who attributed much of their strength to the barley containing training diets. If I talk about rye, Rye is having so many products you can prepare from rye as well. So we'll be discussing broadly about rye in my later lectures. So if I talk about the average chemical composition of cereals, they are consumed directly or in the modified form as major part of the diet, and they can also be used as uh, feed for the livestock, for cattle. And the principal constituents or the major constituents in cereal grains, they are carbohydrates, which is 70 to 77%. Then comes proteins, 7 to 15%. Fat is 2 to 7%. Vitamins, 0.5%. And minerals, they are very much rich in all essential minerals, and they contain moisture around 10 to 15%. And this is the only advantage, I must say, that makes the cereals a storable grain. You can very easily store cereals for a longer period of time because of this much of water content present in the cereals. If the moisture content is around 10 to 12%, then you can very well store the cereals for a longer time. Then the nutritive value of cereals. If I talk about nutritive value, they are having useful amounts of proteins, gluten, and a small amount of unsaturated fats, energy. They are having lots and lots of carbohydrates, cellulose, starch, energy, and vitamin B group for nerves and energy, calcium and phosphorus for bones, iron for blood, and very little water, so they can be easily stored. And the value of cereals in the diet, this I must say, this is the most important diet in our daily lives, and because cereals, they are very much nutritious, especially the whole grain products. They're very cheap, they are the filling items, they have good sort of proteins for the vegan diets, because non-vegetarians, they can cover up their proteins from their meals, but vegans, they have the problem of coping up with the protein actually, and so protein can be compensated in the vegetarian diets with the combination of cereals as well as pulses. So there is also no wastage of any of the crop in production as well as in processing. So these are valuable. They can be easily stored, they can be easily prepared. You can cook the cereals very efficiently and easily. And there is a limitation of cereals as well, because overeating, yeah, overconsumption of cereals, it can lead to obesity. So these cereals, they should be consumed judicially. They come in many forms, like whole grains. In whole grains, wheat, rice, maize, corn, barley, in partly cooked or processed forms, for example, cream of wheat, quick oats, and they also come as coarse as well as milled grains. So thank you, and I will be sharing the links regarding this lecture with you students in my next module. Thank you.